Morning party people, it is about 5:40 a.m. A quick rundown as to what I think the courses are going to be so that if they don't release them by this weekend, you are at least practicing a reasonable selection that might be the case. I did do a Hubapalooza whole race series of trail previews and course race day previews last year. And so I'm going to link that up above because if there's any duplication of the trails, you can watch those videos and I go through exactly where you should push, should maybe focus your attention as far as features go, and any other, lessons learned that you might want to have as I ride these trails pretty frequently. So the question I've got for you guys is, what bike are you going to be riding? Because when I'm out there, if I can recognize somebody in the comments, I'd love to say hi. So let me know in the comments below what bike you're going to be racing on, because I'm still a little bit up in the air as to which one I'm going to be racing on. The course preview, whenever they release it, might really dictate that. But let me know in the comments below.
Anyway, just watch out for that. And then
one of the things that I'll point out for those of you that may not be super familiar with this area, you have basically three parking lots. You have the Sakani parking lot, which is right here. This is going to be your main hub. This is where all the results, this is where all the registration, this is where it's going to be. So I would suggest familiarizing yourself with that one. Shields parking lot, this one's pretty rare. There's a lot of sketchy people that hang out here, and just watch out for that. And then you also have the Esmeralda golf course. There is going to be a very high likelihood that some of the courses end up at this Ezzy golf course parking. Once you familiarize yourself with those three parking lots, you should also know the climbing trails. So if we start at Ezzy, you actually have the Esmeralda climbing course. So this puts you up at the towers, which is one of the peaks at Beacon. The other one is the top of Sakani. If you're at Shields, Airport Escalator is the best climbing trail over here. And this is a pretty brutal climb. So if you're going to be up here for a limited time, don't spend a whole lot of time climbing up this. You will smoke your legs. Sakani, you have Upchuck. This is the main climbing trail for everybody, and it loops around Sakani, traverses over here into the gully, and then back up to the top of the tower. Last year, the courses were as follows. I think stage 1 was down Evil Twin, across Wiggler, Yard Sale, and then it finished right at this junction right here. To not have people racing down while people are climbing up, I would put a pretty high likelihood that this might happen again. Stage 2 was Master Blaster to Canyon Blaster, which is this one right here. So you'll be coming down Master Blaster. There's a road junction right here. And then what you'll do is you kind of hang a left to go down Canyon Blaster. And then it ends on Myth. The third stage there was Pop Rocks. And then once you came down, let's zoom in here, Pop Rocks, cut over to Penny Lane. And then they went through Hot Gates. And the finish line was, if I remember correctly, just down here on Myth. I had that wrong. The finish line was actually on what's called Bev's Highway down there. It's not a very well marked trail. Definitely worth the ride. It's easy, there's ride-arounds, but there's some sneaky lines in there. Fourth stage being Deep Thoughts, basically top to bottom. And that ended right about in the middle of 20-foot cheerleader. If I had to put money down as to what I think that they're going to do, I would say I'm keeping to the fact that they're going to keep all of their timers at the top of Beacon or the towers. And the reason for that is just logistically, it's a lot easier to have all of your starting gates in one location. As soon as you have starting gates at the towers as well as Sakani, the race organizers have to go back and forth if there's any issues. So I would focus a lot of your time on the top of Beacon or the towers. I would put money on Master Blaster being one of the trails, mainly because there's been so much excellent work buffing out those berms that if I was a race organizer and I wanted to showcase the best of Beacon, this trail is definitely one of those that I would throw in there. This is going to get a lot of people very excited. It's just big berms, and then Canyon Blaster is the same way. If you're going to practice, this one does not have any big committing features or any real big surprises. This one might be saved for last if it were me, just because the committing features are not necessarily so demanding. If you're coming in here from out of town, just keep that in mind. Master Blaster is likely going to be one, but the blue trail rating is very accurate, and so you might not want to focus all of your time there. The other trail that they might throw in there is we haven't raced commitment issues for a few years, and so this one right here does have a few committing features, as the name might suggest, and so I wouldn't be at all surprised if they threw this one in there. The only thing is that they're likely going to pop out on Pop Rocks right here and end, so they don't have two courses crossing in this area right here. Now the third one on the Esmeralda side that I would not at all be surprised is that if they actually did this Evil Twin Wiggler yard sale. That's a fun, fast rocket ship of a trail, and it really does showcase your fitness along this Wiggler one. So my number one bet on the Esmeralda side is Master Blaster, Canyon Blaster. My second bet would be some portion of Commitment Issues into Pop Rocks. And then my third bet would be Evil Twin, Wiggler, and Yard Sale. They're definitely going to send us down the Shield side, mainly because I think that Shields is the future of Beacon, and there's so much potential over there. But the course selection does get a little bit funny there. Okay, so over here you do have last year the Pop Rocks, Penny Lane, Hot Gates. That was a really cool course. A lot of people got great footage and, great spectator in Hot Gates. It's a pretty wild little section. I would not miss Hot Gates if I were practicing this before they release the courses. On top of that, it's just a really cool little short trail that is fun to hit. I would think that you might want to do Pop Rocks, Penny Lane, and then Hot Links or Hot Gates, depending on your skill level. That would be a pretty decent bet on my part. That one may end going down either Bev's Highway or Water Wings. These Swim Coach, Marmot Stakes, and Water Wings are all relatively new trails that are getting quite a bit of attention. And so it wouldn't surprise me if once you got through this technical feature of the Hot Gates, you had to pedal your butt off to get into either of these two trails. The red rating here and here, I'm not sure how much I agree with that. For the second half, the top half, absolutely. But the second half, I would take my wife down either of these courses. So I think that's going to be one course is some sort of combination down the Shield side. I do think they're going to throw Deep Thought in there. That's a pretty safe bet. It's a great top to bottom. There's right arounds for most everything, and it's just a fun course. So I would be very, very surprised if they did not throw in Deep Thought there. Now is what I think the wild card is going to be is how they traverse people back to Sakani. Traditionally, they have always pushed us all back over here, and so I would not at all be surprised if they did something along the lines of either Evil Twin, possibly Quarantine, and then you traverse over here, and then possibly like a Carousel or Simple Tools. These two trails are kind of treated as climbing trails, but man, they are super fun on the descent. So these are going to be kind of the wild card on the Sakani side, in my opinion. But if I had to put money on it, I would say that they're going to send us down Rapid Rabbit. Much like Master Blaster, this Rapid Rabbit is just full of berms, pedaling, all kinds of great stuff. So I would think that they would send us down this. If they do send us from the towers over here to the Sakani via some sort of traverse along the gully here into Carousel, Rapid Rabbit, or Simple Tools, just note that is a super long course, and you want to keep in mind that you need the energy associated to get all the way over here. That's going to be probably a 7 or 8 minute course. Deep Thought's probably going to be 4 to 5 minutes. Master Blaster is probably going to be a 2 to 3 minute course. And then this Yard Sale Wiggler is probably going to be another 2 to 3 minute course. Make sure that you have your energy system ready to rock and roll as soon as you have to make this big traverse over. All this could go entirely out the window. I've got no idea. I'm waiting to see the courses released as well, but yeah. Anyway, those are my few thoughts on exactly what's going to happen. But like I said, I've got no idea. And if you're going to be practicing up here before they release the courses, I would put my focus more on the tower side than the Sakani side, mainly because I think from a logistics standpoint, it is going to be much easier for them to set up and put a lot of equipment on the towers as opposed to splitting them between Sakani and the towers. With that being said, my name is Toby, and I hope to see you guys out there, and hit me up in the comment section